Hey guys, welcome back to PersiaRedz Space. I hope you guys are ready for what I have for you today. I'm going to be talking about different herbs that can be used with the ancestors. I'm also teaching it as a class, like as a live on Facebook. So again, I'm going to be doing the shifting of the eyes, but I hope you guys enjoyed the last one I did and that is okay. I'm about to get started, so give me a second while I do my introductions with them, and then I'll be right back in. We'll get into the herbs. See you guys in a second. Thank you guys for coming for this video. I'm outside, so you might hear a little bit of stuff. I am going to do my best to sound loud enough. Yeah, so I'm gonna do my best to sound loud enough. Today I'll be talking about different herbs that you can use with your ancestors and their different metaphysical properties. So let's see. I kind of have a lot and I don't want to like overwhelm you guys with too much, but I'm going to try to go through and be as clear as possible on these herbs and let you know how they can be used. Some of these you guys might be familiar with, some of them you might not be. So either way, it's okay. And I will try to see if I can put a link for herbs that you can get online if you're gonna have trouble, because a lot of people tend to ask me where I get my herbs from. I have a local Botanica where I live at where I get majority of my herbs, so I don't have the issue of really having to go online too much. And I have like 2 or 3 different Botanicas that have herbs that I can get herbs from, so I'll let you know of a good place online that you can get them from. And actually one of my Botanicas does ship, so that would be a good thing for you guys that want to look for or get herbs offline. Let me make sure nothing going on. Okay. So my first herb that I know a lot of us already like know about, like it's not too new to us, is rosemary. So I like fresh, but I find that dried rosemary tends to work better in, you know, what I want to do. Sorry. So dried rosemary is good for cleansing, it is good for protection, and it is good for purification. So what I tend to do with this is I will either put it on my candles, like dress my candles with it, or I will get like a charcoal nugget. Like if you have a hookah, you see those little charcoal nuggets, or just like not the ones that you put in a grill, but the other charcoal, they're like flat. I will sprinkle some of this onto it and let it burn around the altar or around the space of wherever I have my ancestors. It smells very distinct. It is very good. I really love using rosemary. It is definitely awesome. Hey Kiko. So yes, rosemary is good for purification, protection, and cleansing. You can either dress your candles with it, or you can put it on a charcoal nugget. The next herb, well, it's not necessarily a herb as much as it is a resin. This is myrrh. Myrrh is, so when I say resin, a lot of people are like, what do you mean? There's different types of resin. So this is a resin. It's like hardened, and you can burn it on a charcoal nugget. That's usually what I do, is I burn it on a charcoal nugget. I think that's the easiest way to actually use myrrh, unless you have the incense, which using it in incense form is completely fine. Myrrh is also a protective resin. But the best thing about myrrh that I like to use it for is myrrh brings in positive, good energy. So like say you just Palo Santo'd or sage or smudged your house or whatever, especially if you use sage because it's non-discriminate, you can go back and burn myrrh in the space because it pulls in positive energy, good, happy energy. And I like to make sure that my space has positive energy in it. So myrrh is also a good one because I feel like the ancestors, they operate better in a positive space. So myrrh is great. Yes, charcoal discs are a thing. They are the S-I-T, S-I-S-H-I-T, because I don't want to, be too vulgar. It's awesome. Like, this is a good smell as well. You can actually mix rosemary and myrrh together along with some other herbs, which I'll mention. But these are good herbs to mix together as well. Purification and good vibes. Okay, so that was rosemary and myrrh that we just went over. So this herb may be recognized and it may not be. It is Passionflower. So I know some people will be like, oh, well, Passionflower sounds like it would be used for, love things and whatnot, which is absolutely right. So Passionflower is definitely a flower or an herb of Venus, and it promotes love. So I use it when I want to promote a love frequency in my space with my ancestors so that they can feel the love. I like the universal love vibrations. I'm really big on that, and Passionflower is good for that, as well as being a protective herb, being in your space. So you always want to have protection when dealing with any type of spirits, whether it's your ancestors or not, because what we tend to forget is that not all of our ancestors like us. Like, if you had family members that didn't really like you or other family members, they're still probably like that on the other side. So you want to protect and make sure that it's only like your ancestors of benevolence and sovereignty are the ones that love you, that are working with you and working for you. So you want to keep that love energy and that protection in when working with your ancestors. Another good one for this is like when you are petitioning your ancestors to help you with money. This herb is also a money attraction herb. So I also use that when giving my ancestor money and asking for monetary blessings. Passionflower works to give that universal love and that money attraction. You can just dress your candles with this. If you use olive oil, is a very general oil to use, and you could just, if you're using a regular candle, like chime candle or whatnot, just, put some oil on there and just sprinkle some of this onto the candle. It works great. If you're using a 7-day candle, then you could just put a couple drops of oil on top and sprinkle some of the Passionflower on top of your 7-day candle, and that will work as well. Yes, like, you always got to make sure your space is clean, because and I know this is like kind of like a side thing, but they always say to take your shoes off when you come into your house. Is because the bottoms of your feet have touched so many different planes, dirt, any type of thing, that spirits can connect to that, and you don't want to bring those spirits all the way up and through your house. So just like you don't want to bring all those spirits all the way up and through around your ancestor space or your ancestor altar, it's good to clean out that space using these herbs, because whatever you accidentally tracked in there from your goings aways outside, you're getting rid of it so that the space is clean and there are no worries. This one is more recognizable, of course. The name is on Sorry, guys. So, it is tobacco. Ancestors. A lot of ancestors. Oh, that just came out. Whatever. A lot of ancestors really love tobacco. So, the way I use it, I will either have this on, like, dressed on a candle. Sometimes the ancestors just like a heap of it in like a bowl, like a small glass bowl. Other times the ancestors are very demanding and they want you to actually light a cigar. And if you are a smoker, you can blow smoke on their altar. They do like that. But sometimes they just want a lit cigar or a cigar. Doesn't have to be lit if you can't deal with it, but they want a cigar or they want tobacco on their altar. So this is a great one because it ancestors really did use the fresh, non-processed tobacco back in the days. So this is just it's ceremonial in a lot of different cultures. Tobacco is used with Native Americans. They use it during their ceremonial processes of talking to ancestors, going to the lower and upper worlds. Even in initiations, they will use tobacco. Okay. So we did that one. The next one I know I have a lot in here. These are dried roses, right? So we all know about roses. Roses are protective. Roses deal with love. Love as in general, like just like Passionflower, it's a universal love frequency. It is it's like, I'm trying to find the right words to say this. It's like when you spread flowers out for family members and when you give them flowers on their grave. It's like, do y'all know what I'm trying to say? Because it's kind of hard for me right now to put it into words, but it's like sprinkling flowers on your ancestors, sprinkling that protection, that love, that beauty. Just, it's like honoring. It's an honoring herb to me when used with the ancestors, and especially for our female ancestors. You know they love flowers. Who doesn't love flowers? So that is a good one. Again, good for dressing a candle with, or you can just sprinkle it on their altar. Like I tend to sprinkle loose flowers around their space. Kind of like how you see in a wedding where they just sprinkle the flowers on the ground and stuff like that. I tend to sprinkle like flowers around for them and do it that way. What do I have next? Okay, this one is also a very common herb that we should all know about. The tag. Oh, no, the tag is still there. This is lavender flowers. Let's see. Yes. So lavender flowers, we know lavender to be a calming, relaxing herb. It helps with sleep. Actually, lavender is also a protection herb as well. And I'm trying not to get it confused with something else. It is a protection herb, and it is a purification herb as well. So protection and purification of a space. And I mean, whenever I like to work with my ancestors, I like to be in a calm space. I like to be relaxed. I like to, not be too intense or just like overly emotional if I don't need to be, because I want to be able to talk to them correctly, have the right communication, be able to get my point across the way that I want to. And I want them to also not just be in a positive space, but be in a calming, relaxed space as well. So I will either put these around their altar like I do with the roses, or I will put it on their candles and dress them. I will also like put these on a charcoal nugget and burn them as well. I do that. So you can mix that with your rosemary and your myrrh if you want to. But lavender has a lot of different, yet great properties. And as you can see, lavender is basically used for everything. So that is a very good thing for it. So we went over rosemary, passionflower, tobacco, roses, and myrrh. And this lavender. So that is, we did 6 herbs, and I have 4 more. Okay. So the next herb that we have that I really like to use, it deals with protection. It deals with cleansing. Is eucalyptus. I know like the words aren't really, they're not really like on there like that. Eucalyptus. And eucalyptus has a very distinct shape. Like as an herb, it looks distinct. I tend to burn these on charcoal nuggets with myrrh and rosemary, and like have it around their altar and have it smoke around and things like that. I really like the scent of this. With rosemary mixed in together, I feel like they're like a 1-2 punch of cleansing and purification and protection, because they basically do the same thing. I'm really big on protection and keeping things clean and pure. So that's definitely is a good one for me to use. Like I said, this is like good for anyone to use, like not just me. What else do I have? Okay, so this is another resin. It has myrrh mixed in with it. So if you, when I open it up, if you see anything dark in there, it's myrrh, but it's frankincense. So the white that you see, this one, that one, the white pieces, that is frankincense. Frankincense comes as a resin as well. So frankincense, we all know, well, I won't say we all know, I'm sorry. In the church, frankincense and myrrh is used. If you've ever, if you are in the church and you see them with like this little incense holder on a string and it's covered and you see smoke coming out of it and they're waving it like this, that is frankincense and myrrh. That is what the church uses to cleanse their space for like majority of the time. That's what they're using. The reason why most people use frankincense and myrrh together, frankincense gets rid of negative energy. It is also protective. So once it gets rid of that negative energy, it creates a barrier to protect the space that it's in. It's like sage, but it's not as non-discriminate. And they put the myrrh in there because the myrrh brings in the positive energy. So while you're getting rid of negative energy and creating a barrier, you're still creating a protective space with positive energy in it, which is why frankincense and myrrh is like my go-to for the ancestors when I don't have anything else. And getting it as an incense sometimes is better for people than getting the actual resin, because sometimes the resin can be kind of expensive. Even the myrrh resin can be expensive. So but I prefer these, and I burn these on my charcoal discs with rosemary and the eucalyptus, and I'll put a little bit of lavender on there. So that's really my main one when I'm really being, and I really want to get the space together. I just put it in here so I can just like shake it out, because it's a mix of it's a mix of myrrh and frankincense in here. So I'm really big on frankincense and myrrh. Also, frankincense is a great antidepressant. So having that scent or frankincense in your space also calms you down, along with the lavender. So it brings like a peaceful space to you, so that I mean, when you think about it, you want to be in a peaceful space when talking to your ancestors. You want that to be like your oasis. You want that to be where they feel, comfortable, where they feel good, where they are, also at peace. I don't really go to my ancestors fired up because I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing and asking for the right thing. And I want to make sure that I'm not leaving that energy around them, like if it doesn't need to be there. So frankincense is definitely a great herb. Here's an herb that most people probably wouldn't think would be great for the ancestors or to use with the ancestors. But this is definitely a good one. This one, if I can stop dropping the whatchamacallit, is patchouli leaves. So patchouli is a very earthy smelling herb. But because of that, it's the perfect herb. Patchouli deals with earth. So it's like, for lack of a better word, earth magic. And it connects us with our ancestors that have passed, that we have placed in the earth. Even if, you had them cremated or whatever, it's still earth at the end of the day. And this connects us and grounds us with the earth. This connects us and grounds us with the ancestors before us that have walked this earth, that the energy that they gave this space, this planet, patchouli connects us with that energy. And I really, really like using this herb. Like, I can't really do what I want to with it because it's going to fly away, because it's really light feeling. These leaves are really light. I also like to do a spiritual bath with this before talking to the ancestors sometimes, when I want to make a really strong connection and bond with them, just because of the earth energy that it contains. And it just, it's totally awesome. It has so many different uses, but for the ancestors, it connects us to the earth. It gives us that earth energy, that grounding energy, and it's really awesome to use. I really adore this. I do. So our last herb, but of course not least, is cedar leaf. Now you're like, cedar? Cedar has been used for a very, very long time. Like, very long time. Cedar is like, it's a ceremonial herb. It's been used in ceremonies by our ancient ancestors for so many years, especially like in transitional ceremonies, birthing ceremonies, and it's a calming and uplifting herb. So like, I know that different, depending on the group, different Native Americans would use these when doing their ceremonies of a passing family member, transitioning them to ascension to the higher realms. When the women were giving birth, cedar was burned because it was they felt like it was a transitioning of an ancestor coming back into the physical realm. And even in initiations of adulthood, this was used. Sorry about the plane. Yeah, so in initiations of adulthood, this could be used sometimes to ask for, protection of the ancestors, to protect the child, or the child becoming a man. This would also be used. So I like to use this to dress my candles with, or to place on top. I don't really put them on charcoal per se because I haven't resonated with it to do that, but that does not mean you cannot. It really is what resonates with you and what you feel like, you know, the ancestors would really like from you. But this is like a sacred herb in my eyes, for the uses. Is one of many sacred herbs that are used for things like this. Another herb that I can think about that I know tends to be an herb that people ask about, they're curious about, they're really not sure of, which this herb is really, it just depends on you. I know for me personally, it is something that I use, I know my ancestors used, marijuana, weed, however you guys want to call it. I know that my ancestors used it, so I will have it on their altars. I will blow the smoke on their altars. Some people ask about it as far as using it in work. Honestly, just like so many different things out here, it's not for everybody, so you might not want to use it if it is not something that you think your family members use or that you're into. And that's perfectly fine. Like, it's not dire that you use it, but it is an herb that is used. At the end of the day, it is an herb. It was used by many different cultures to communicate with ancestors, to, for some, unblock the blockage that some of us have, to be able to connect and see the messages that the ancestors are giving us. Again, this is not for everybody. It's preferential to the ancestors. If you personally know your ancestors use this, like this, love this, then I would use it, or I would blow the smoke on their altars, or I would just leave some on the altar. It really is up to you what you feel pulled to do. Do not feel like you have to use it because everybody else is, or that it is an herb named. All of these herbs do not have to be used on your ancestor altar. It's really what you have a preference for, or what you feel like works for you the most. Yeah, I don't have that to show you right now. And there's another herb that I don't have to show you right now because I couldn't find it in my my herb space where I have all these, like, I have jars like these and bigger jars where I have all my herbs, and I was having a hard time finding it. But this herb is called mugwort, and mugwort is normally known for astral projection and dream works, and that is why it is also a perfect herb to use with your ancestors. It is also a protective herb, but it's perfect to pair with passionflower, because passionflower also deals with dream work just like mugwort. Mugwort protects as it helps you, for some people, astral project, but for the purpose of using it with the ancestors, it helps with getting messages from them during your dreams. If that's how you really connect and are able to communicate with your ancestors, passionflower mixed with mugwort is perfect for that. So you would definitely want to use that together if you are the person that gets your messages in dreams. Mugwort helps with lucid dreaming as well. So you're able to, also remember your dreams and be able to get a clear picture of what's going on. I know ancestors used to smoke mugwort. So again, you can blow it on their altar, leave it on their altar, or dress your candles with it. If you choose to smoke mugwort yourself, know that mugwort has a very strong taste, so you'd probably want to dumb it down with peppermint and lavender, or peppermint and roses. Peppermint has a good, nice taste to it, so using peppermint with mugwort will definitely help in the taste aspect if you're going to smoke it. What else can I say about mugwort? It's protective, we said that. DreamWorks. um, helping with lucid dreaming. It is great to use with Passionflower. It is not a scent that I would put on, it is not a herb I would put on a charcoal nugget either. I'm not really fond of the scent that it gives off when it's being burned that way, but to each his own, so it depends on your scent and what you like. But those were two extra herbs that I didn't have pictures of, marijuana and mugwort. But they are still really good to use with the ancestors. They are perfect and they're amazing. So I think that I got through all of the herbs that I wanted to get through, and I'll go back over the names so that you know what I touched on. I touched on lavender, which is our calm, cool, collected, relaxed herb that also deals with protection and purification. Rosemary, which is purification, cleansing, and protection. Eucalyptus, which is the base, like basically like rosemary, protection, cleansing, purification. Tobacco, which is normally ceremonial, used with different cultures, especially Native Americans. And our ancestors, many of our ancestors did smoke pipes and things of that nature, so they liked it blown on their altars. You could place it on their altars in a glass bowl. You can dress your candles with it. Passionflower, which is for the universal love, the protection, the dream works, bringing that beautiful, loving energy into your space. We did roses, which is also protective, deals with love, that love energy. And like I said, to me, it's like an honoring herb where you, you throw it on your altar, not throw, you know what I mean? But you place it on your altar like you would place flowers for your ancestors now. I feel like that's what I'm usually called for with it. We had cedar leaf, which is also a very sacred herb as far as ancestors go. It's very much used in ceremonial work, especially with Native Americans, for transitioning deceased loved ones to ascend and become ancestors, for birthing, bringing in ancestors back into the physical world, and when a child goes from a child into manhood. Patchouli is our other one, which we deal with earth magic. I feel like it brings the energy of our ancestors that walked the earth before us back to us, and that it also grounds us and keeps us in the energy and space of our ancestors. It is a very earthy smelling herb as well. Wasn't there one more that I was thinking of? Or was that all? Oh, myrrh, which is a resin, which is protective, but it also brings in positive energy. It does get rid of negative energy, but mostly it is used for bringing in positive energy and protection. And it goes great with frankincense, which is our antidepressant / get rid of negative energy, creating a barrier in the space so that the positive energy that comes from myrrh stays in, and the ancestors are in a space of love, positivity, purification, cleanse, like the space is cleansed. So those are the herbs that we went over. So I hope that you guys got a lot from this. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, message me, or anything. With these, I hope these herbs definitely help you out in what you want to pick. There are more herbs that are used for the ancestors, but these are just a couple that I have picked out to tell you guys about, that are really simple to use, easy to find, and I really hope that you enjoyed. So yeah, a question that was asked on the other live that I was just doing was like, could they use CBD instead of marijuana? And I said that kind of defeated the purpose of the whole herb thing, because like THC and CBD, that's a component inside of it, but we're dealing with the herb as a whole. So unless your ancestors are like, give me CBD, especially, I would use the whole herb and just place it on the altar, or just, you know, use it in that way. Or if you smoke it, just blow it on their altar, if that is another thing, because for me, that is what my ancestors like, especially. So I hope you guys really, you know, enjoyed this and got something great out of it. And, you know, use these herbs. They're for us to use. Like, yeah. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything else, just, you know, let me know. I'll place in the website for 2 places that you can go online to get herbs from. And you never know, you might actually have some of these herbs growing wildly around your area. So if you have them growing wild, you can dry them out yourself or use them fresh, which is completely awesome and great. So don't feel like you can't. But I will let you guys go because I have to finish doing my own little workings. And I will see you on the next video installment. Thank you for coming with me and being here in PersiaRedz space. I always enjoy having you guys. You never know who needs this information. So, you know, like, share, subscribe, whatever. It means a lot to me always. And you never know who will need the information. Until next time. Bye.